Have no idea how to deal with nurse burnout? I'm going to share with you the top ways to battle burnout. Hi, I'm Nurse Tracy from Resiliency Within, and please consider subscribing to the channel and click the notification bell so you can be notified when I put out new videos on how to live with resiliency within, to live life beyond burnout, so we can continue to give our healing gifts to the world without sacrificing our health and vitality. I'll be sharing the activities I've done to help me recover and heal from burnout, and what I've shared with other nurses to help them too. Tip number 1. Prioritize self-care. Yes, we've all heard it said and being said over and over again. The first tip on self-care is sleep. Yes, sleep. Yes, we're tired, and this is non-negotiable. Really, if we can, aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. And do this by establishing a regular sleep schedule. You can do it by starting with a relaxing bedtime, wind-down routine. And why is sleep important? I mean, for all the obvious reasons, but I want to point out a couple of things that we don't think about why sleep is so important. There was a study of over 1,500 nurses that reported less than 7 hours of sleep a night before work, and that was linked to, you got it, lower patient care, lower qualities of care, and patient safety. And even the American Nurses Association made a statement about this, that employers should prioritize their workers to have at least 10 hours of protected time away from work, so that we can at least get 7 hours of good quality sleep. So you and I, we got to get used to saying no to extra overtime, no to staying over, and no to working a second job. I know that's hard to do because I've done it. I've worked a lot of overtime, especially in the first few years of being a new nurse. I felt so good that they were asking me to stay over, like, oh my gosh, I'm so important, my skills are so valuable, like the hospital's gonna fall apart without me, of course I'll stay over, even though I've already worked whatever shift that was, whether it was the 8-hour, 10-hour, 12 hours, and I'm riding off of whatever sleep I had the night before, 5 hours. And we see all this negative press about nurses making errors in the news because why? They were working overtime. And when a mistake happens, that's on us. That's on you and me. So to think that, hey, if you can stay an extra 4 hours, don't worry, we'll give you an easy assignment. There's no such thing, right? There's no such thing. When you're taking care of someone's life, there's no such thing as an easy assignment. You could have somebody of a low acuity and all of a sudden you're having to run a code, because this is why people are in the hospital, because it's not safe enough for them to go home. They're moderately unstable because that's why they need to be there in the hospital. So let's keep that in mind. And also, when I was a new nurse, yes, I did work 2 jobs. I did not sleep well because I told myself I had to do that to pay off all my debt. So when I look back now, would I advise myself to still work those 2 jobs as a new nurse? No. If I could say that I regretted something of my lifetime, it would be that I was working too much and giving too much of myself and not prioritizing my own rest and recovery in between shifts. And that's what I mean. We are not as cognitively alert when we're sleep deprived. There was a study that showed that 18 hours of sustained wakefulness can impair us, similarly to somebody with a blood alcohol level of 0.05. And that limit, my friend, is the same for many other Western countries of the legal limit for DUI, DWI, whatever else. The same study showed that having sleep deprivation decreased reaction times as much as 50% to rested individuals. So think about this. Say you're in the ER or the ICU, and you're monitoring someone. You've already worked the 12-hour shifts. They said, why don't you stay another 4 hours? Okay, so that puts you in kind of like the 16 hours of being awake category. But let's not forget, there's that hour that it takes to get to work and be ready for work, and that hour that it takes to come home. So now you're already at this 17 to 19 hours of sustained wakefulness. So that means our reaction time is going to be low. How many times have I driven home from work feeling dog tired? Really hard. really hard. Having to drive with all the windows down, with the music blasting so I could pay attention driving home, that's a scary thought. And for those of us who maybe stay for a double, say you're working 12 hours and you're going to stay another 6 or 12 hours, wow, we're talking about 24 hours of being awake. And that is equivalent to a deficit of having a 0.10 blood alcohol intoxication. I know. It's significant. These are measured by scientists, so it's not something like, oh, let me drink more Red Bull, let me drink more Rockstar, let me drink a cowboy cup of coffee. That's not going to sustain us over time, and it's not healthy to our body. It's not healthy to our say node to be drinking that much caffeine. So let's make sleep a priority. What I do is I put a notification on my phone that is, hey, it's time to get ready for bed. So when that comes up, or you can set it as an alarm for yourself, much like an alarm for waking up for work, you set one to let you know it's time to start getting ready for bed. When that alarm comes on, then I immediately drop what I'm doing. Yes, I do drop what I'm doing. If there's dirty dishes, they'll just have to stay. And I begin my sleep routine. I have my massage gadgets. I put them on while getting into bed. If it's cold or chilly, I'll turn on my bed warmer. I get the room dimly lit with more of the orange colored lights rather than the bright white lights. And I start playing calming music to let my nervous system start settling down so my parasympathetic nervous system can kick in. Because cleaning one more last dish, packing that last lunch, that's all that's going to do is kick up my cortisol levels, rev up my heart, and it's not going to prepare my body for sleep. Tip number 2, exercise, physical exercise. Yes, I know I said it, and I'm really good at getting exercise now. But when I was first starting nursing, I was overweight. I was not very healthy. There was an episode once during a shift where I had massive chest pain and had to be taken down to the ER. And that was probably my unhealthiest point, especially that I had to start taking blood pressure pills. So I've gotten all that to calm down now. I have a good blood pressure, great heart rate, great cholesterol levels. Even my doctor shows them to me like it's a great report card of how well I'm doing. And the physical activity doesn't have to be anything real robust. It could just be taking a brisk walk, maybe just around the block or maybe for a mile. And it actually, if you can, go at the same rate that you give CPR compressions. So 100 footfalls, 100 footsteps per minute. And you can use that same song, Staying Alive, or whatever song that equates to about 100 beats per minute, so that you can get that brisk walk in. And I know that sounds counterintuitive because our job is so physical already, but this is different. This isn't walking with purpose, like you're going down to the supply department to pick up ostomy supplies or anything like that. It's walking just for the sake of walking and being outside and finding it to be relaxing and enjoyable. Researchers have found that even exercising just one time a week significantly drops stress levels. Another study out of Mass Gen showed that physical activity can be also cardiovascularly protective by reducing that stress-related steady state of the brain. There was another study to show how exercise demonstrated a protective effect on the hippocampus from stress. They found that regularly running on a treadmill for 8 weeks prior to whatever stress-induced event that was about to be brought on reduced nerve cell death in the hippocampus. So this suggests that consistent exercise may protect against nerve cell damage. And another study, I know another one, the Harvard's Nurses' Health Study found that only half of the nurses exercised for less than 2 hours per week. And why was it so low? Well, because of the long shifts and rotating shifts. If you're at an organization where you have to rotate between day and nights. So try whichever exercise works for you, whether you can do it by yourself or you prefer to be in exercise with others. I've tried various things. I've tried gyms, gym memberships, yoga studios, and I find what works for me is home workouts using YouTube videos. There's so many YouTube videos, and the style that I like mostly is about a 20 to 30 minute hit intensity workout. And that works out for me as the time length is right. I have a Fitbit now, so then I can track how many calories I'm burning. I like to aim around 150 to 200 calories used during a workout, and that works for me because then I don't have to get in the car. I can do it from the ease of my own home. If this is resonating with you, please hit that like button. And what has helped you deal with burnout? Please comment below so that we can all learn from you. Tip number 3, practicing mindfulness or mindful meditation. This has had countless research studies on how it's reduced stress and help improve our well-being. And there's so many apps now that you can use to do that. I use apps with my Fitbit. It gives me a whole section of mindfulness activities, and I like to log them in because I'm a nurse and I like data and I like charting and I like charting progress. And for me, I could look in my chart inside the app and see how many times I did have a mindfulness session. And if it's low, then I could ramp it up. There's research of more than 200 studies that show mindfulness among healthy individuals was really effective for reducing stress, reducing anxiety, and reducing depression. Tip number 4, hobbies and relaxation. Please, let's make time for activities outside of work. This could be anything from reading or painting or spending time in nature or pursuing any type of hobby you like. These are the activities that's going to help you and me disconnect from work and focus on that activity in front of us to help that ruminating pattern of thoughts and ideas that leads to all that negative self-talk. And really think of these as leisure activities outside of work, which are so vital for our work-life balance. Having these kinds of opportunities give us a sense of fulfillment, whether it's being creative. And I know you're creative because as nurses, we're creative all the time, especially with our workarounds when we're low on supplies and the things that we could come up with. So yeah, I have seen and I've personally experienced creativity just from being a nurse. So why not use that creative outlet in other ways, whether it's dancing or looking for a new hike or painting or playing an instrument. So many studies have shown that these hobbies can lower stress, facilitate relaxation, improve mental well-being by relieving symptoms of anxiety or depression. And overall, we get a sense of satisfaction. For me, I enrolled into an adult art school, and it was so nice to have an activity that I kept coming back to that was ongoing versus being in nursing where we're giving task after task and we just run through, complete each one till we're done, knocking them off the list. What I enjoyed about art class is that I would have a painting that I was working on over time, over a series of weeks, and it was nice to not have any expectations to the exact plan of what I was doing. And while I was painting, all I could think about was painting, using the colors, using the brush strokes. I wasn't thinking about what a crappy day I had or who said what to me or what I could have said that would be different. And there you have it. If you need any more help in tackling burnout, please consider going to the description box below where I have a free Resilient Nurse Toolkit to help you live life on the unit and off the unit. Yes, both are possible. Be sure to check out the next video, Stress Relief, how to find calm in chaos. 3 minutes. This is where you can practice a mindful movement, practice anytime, anywhere. See you on the next one.